Come here for a second. I want to ask you something. When was the last time that you sat down to play a game and felt like you had to justify it first? Not after playing, not halfway through, but before you even started. Because I realized something kind of uncomfortable. I don't usually feel guilty while I'm gaming. I feel guilty before I even launch the game in the first place. And that made me wonder, when did gaming become something I had to earn? I can sit down and play Rocket League without thinking twice. I can queue through matches, lose 2, win 1, tell myself I'm improving, and somehow that feels fine. But when I think about launching a story game, a game I actually bought, a game I know I'd enjoy, suddenly my brain turns into an accountant. Have you done enough today? Did you get enough work done? Should you really be spending your night doing this? That's the weird part. The guilt shows up before the game even starts. So this happened recently with Expedition 33. I sat down one night and thought, right, tonight is the night. I'm finally starting this properly. So I turn on the PlayStation, I get comfortable, I see the game sitting there, then I check the time, 10 p.m. And immediately my brain goes, nope, too late. But here's the stupid part. It wasn't too late to play Rocket League, it wasn't too late to watch YouTube, it wasn't even too late to scroll on my phone. It was only too late to start a story game. Nobody stopped me, I stopped me. And if you've ever done that, you know exactly what happened next. I loaded Rocket League. And I think that's a really specific adult gamer problem. Not I don't like games anymore, and not games are bad now. More like, I want to play this, but apparently I need to feel like my life is handled first. And this is where Rocket League becomes interesting. Because Rocket League isn't just fun for me, it feels productive. I know that sounds ridiculous, it's still a video game. No one is giving me a promotion because I hit a better rank, but it feels like progress. You rank up, you improve, you get better mechanics, and most importantly, you get immediate feedback. And that makes it easier to justify for me. Now, tell me if this sounds familiar. Playing a competitive game for an hour somehow feels more acceptable than playing a story game for an hour. Even though they're both games, one feels like improvement and the other one feels like indulgence. One gives you a rank, the other gives you experience. And somewhere along the way, I think I started valuing the one that looked more like progress. That's why I keep choosing the quick competitive game. It's not always because I want it more, it's because it's easier to explain to myself. But here's where the explanation falls apart. Because if I had a completely free Saturday tomorrow, no work, no errands, no responsibilities, no guilt, I know exactly what I'd want to do. And it wouldn't just be Rocket League. I'd want to play Expedition 33 for hours. Not because I feel like I should, because I actually want to. And that is the contradiction. If I know I want to play it, and I know I'd enjoy it, why do I keep avoiding it? Seriously, think about that. What game came to mind? Because whatever that game is, that's probably your version of this. The game you keep saying you'll play when you finally have the time. The game you bought because some part of you still wants to be that kind of gamer. And the game that sits there quietly, judging you every time you scroll past it.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that?
And when I really thought about my ideal Saturday, it wasn't even gaming all day and ignoring everything else. That's not actually what I want either. My ideal Saturday would probably look something like this. Wake up at around 8, I'd go to the gym, I'd come home, I'd get some Golf Bandit work done, I'd have some lunch, work on Midlife XP for a few hours, and then at around 3:30, I'd probably sit down and play a story game for like 4 hours. Probably play Rocket League with some friends at 8, and then we'll do some Warzone after that. Then probably be watching YouTube until I pass out. Now that sounds like a genuinely perfect Saturday to me, and that matters because story games are still in the picture. They're not gone, they're not something I've outgrown, they're something I still want. But apparently they only become allowed after I've checked enough boxes first. Gym, business, channel, progress, then gaming. That's the bit that bothers me. I still want it, I just keep putting conditions in front of it. That's the part I keep coming back to. At some point, gaming stopped being something I just did and became something I had to earn. And if this is sounding painfully familiar, then you're probably exactly the kind of person this channel is for. Midlife XP is about gaming through the lens of adult life. The guilt, the nostalgia, the lack of time, the weird mental negotiations we have just to play something we already own. So if that sounds like your world too, consider subscribing. And what's strange is, I don't remember gaming always feeling like this. Not because games were better back then, because that's not the point. I'm talking about the permission part. When I was younger, I never remember asking myself if I had earned gaming. I just played. Grand Theft Auto is the example that always comes to mind. Me and one of my friends were so obsessed with it that we literally used a cassette recorder to make our own fake GTA radio stations. We do song intros, pretend to be DJs. Basically, we're creating our own version of GTA in our heads. And yeah, looking back, that is a bit ridiculous. But that is also the point. Gaming wasn't something I had to justify. It was just a part of life. If I wanted to play, I played. If I got obsessed with something, I let myself be obsessed with it. There wasn't this little voice asking, was today productive enough? Should you be doing something better? Have you earned this yet? That voice came later. The important part isn't that GTA was amazing, it's that I never asked if I was allowed to enjoy it. And here's the embarrassing part. When I don't play the story game, it's not like I always go and do something productive instead. I'd love to say I skipped Expedition 33 and built a business for 4 hours, but that's not always what happens. Sometimes I spend an hour planning future projects, sometimes I talk through ideas about how to improve my life, instead of actually doing the thing that would improve my life. And I think that a lot of us do this. We procrastinate by planning. We think about the person we want to become. We organize the setup, we buy the equipment, we make the list, we research the better system, and it feels productive enough to avoid being lazy, but not productive enough to actually move anything forward. Have you ever procrastinated by planning? And that's where gaming gets stuck. Rocket League asks almost nothing up front. Cue match, play, done. A story game asks me to choose it. And choosing it means accepting that for the next few hours, I'm not optimizing, I'm not building, and I'm not improving. I'm just playing. And apparently that has become harder for me than I realized. So I don't think the issue is that I stopped liking story games. I don't even think the issue is that I don't have enough time. The issue is that I've started treating gaming like something I have to earn. And the really weird part is I don't even get to the guilt while playing. The guilt happens before I even start. Before the loading screen, before the first cutscene, and before I even press X. I'm not avoiding games because I know I won't enjoy them. I'm avoiding games I know I probably will enjoy. And that feels completely backwards. This is the whole thing. I'm not avoiding games that I hate. I'm avoiding games that I'm pretty sure I would love. I think what I've actually been doing is waiting for a future version of myself. Future Ben, the more successful version, the more productive version, the version who has everything handled, the version who can sit down for 5 hours and play a story game without feeling guilty about it. Future me always sounds like he's 5 minutes away, but somehow he never actually gets there. And the older I get, the more I realize that version probably doesn't arrive the way I imagine. Not because life won't improve, and not because goals don't matter, but because every goal creates another goal. Every success creates another thing to chase. So if I'm waiting until I feel completely caught up, or completely successful, or completely free before I let myself enjoy these games, I might be waiting forever. And maybe you've done that too. Maybe there's a game you're saving for when life settles down, or when work calms down, or when you have the perfect weekend, or when you finally feel ready. But what if that version of life never actually shows up? What if time never feels perfect? That also changed how I look at my backlog. Because if I somehow finished every game that I've ever bought and never completed, I don't think the main feeling would be pride. I think it would be relief, which is weird because these are games. They're supposed to be fun. But somehow they've turned into little promises I made to myself. I'll play that one day. I'll get back into story games one day. And every time I don't, the promise just sits there, waiting. That's such a weird feeling to attach to games. Relief. But I honestly think that's what it is. So maybe the reason I keep buying games I never play isn't just because I'm bad at managing a backlog. Maybe it's because I keep buying proof that I still want to be that kind of gamer, while waiting for a future version of myself to actually become him. And I think that's one of the strangest parts of being a gamer as an adult. It's not just that we have less time, it's that we have more conditions. I'll play after work, after the gym, after the chores, after the side project, after I become the version of myself I'm trying to become. But if gaming only happens after everything else is handled, then gaming might never happen the way we want it to. So maybe the real question isn't, why do I keep buying games I never play? And maybe it's, when did I start believing I had to to earn the right to play them. And honestly, I don't know if I fully fixed that yet, but at least now I can see it, and maybe that's where it starts. Maybe the first step is just noticing that we're even doing it. What's funny is, when I started this channel, I thought the problem was that I couldn't get immersed in RPGs anymore. But after making this video, I'm not so sure. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I'd go there next, because I think that was the symptom. This might be the reason.